Did you hear from anybody with the event at the day of the event why you couldn't bring in water like at the security gate? Did anybody say anything at all or stop people that you saw?
Yes, so we were on the side gate and we were waiting to get in, and I had a sealed water bottle. My husband had a sealed water bottle, and so did my two friends that went with us. And we were trying very, very hard not to open those because they said we could take in the sealed water. It was so hot, though, that I did have to crack mine open, and the four of us shared one so the rest of us could have the three. And once we got up to the front of the line, we kept hearing fans screaming back the line. They're telling us to dump out all of our water, even the ones that are still sealed, dump them out. We can't take any in. And we were getting very confused because we were really far back in the line at that point. Once we got to the front, my husband was allowed to take his in, but there were multiple still sealed bottles laying on the outside of the fence. By it was just surrounded by open and unopened, unsealed and unsealed bottles.
How long of a line are we talking about? 10, 20 people? How long were the lines?
It was a there was no line. It was just a crowd of sardines of people. We were on the, I don't know street names or anything, but we were on the side of where the parking garage is. We were on the side furthest away from Nationals, on the Geico garage side. And there were people everywhere coating that sidewalk. There was shoulder to shoulder. There was no discernible line. There was no space. Like there was no space on the sidewalk that any of us could sit or anything. So there was hundreds of people on that side, hundreds on the front, hundreds on the sides.
What did you think about the idea of, hey, you can't bring your water in? Do you think that made a lot of sense on that day or not?
On that day, no. I really think that with the heat advisory that we found out about after the fact, that they should have made precautions and not think about profits that day and thought more about the public safety.
Tell me what you saw people go through before, during, and after the concert. Did you notice anything unusual?
I When we were standing in line, we saw multiple people just go down. They were fainting or they were starting to feel faint. I experienced almost fainting. Thankfully, my friend was so gracious to lend me her electrolytes. But we did watch people pass out. We actually saw a girl go into a seizure right next to us because of the heat exhaustion. Inside, I was in the 100 section, so there weren't a lot of people that I personally saw in that section specifically fainting or anything because we were all sitting. We None of us could really stand. We were always standing for a few songs, sitting for a few songs, standing for a few songs. But we were seeing people on the floor getting exhausted, passing out, people laying on the ground. We did not know ahead of time, and it wasn't made known. It might be just my knowledge that Nationals wasn't air conditioned. I thought there would be at least a room or something that would be air conditioned. So um, we walked in, and I was actually shocked to see how many people were sitting around the inside, not at their seats, but around the perimeter, just fanning themselves, dumping water on themselves, trying to stay cool.
So there's no big fans, none of those mists, with the ice coming out from the water, none of that at all, no
I
cooling
personally did
stations.
not see any of that, no.
Um, Give me an idea of how hot it was, if you can. I mean, it was kind of warm, it was out of this world hot, it was desert hot. I mean, how hot was it?
It was so hot that I felt like I was in a oven baking. It was like we were pushing through as hard as we could to get in there because of course, like I said, once in a lifetime opportunity. But in my line of work, my husband and I have a food truck, and I wanted to mention that we don't have an air conditioner in our truck either, and we can get temperatures up to 130 degrees in our truck, and it felt like that. It felt like we were inside our truck cooking, and just I don't know how any of us were still alive, to be honest, because it was so hot. We were melting. Like, I have never sweat like that in my life.